What a performance by the human. Highlight.
Lightweight champion, Justin the Highlight Gaethje.
Left it. Big overhand right. Justin Gaethje's out of the cage.
What's up, fight fans? Hope you're buckled up for a brand new video today. Right now, we're going to look into particular MMA styles, starting off with none other than the highlight himself, Justin Gaethje. The sport of MMA, from the very first MMA fight to the most recent, is a clash of styles. Grappling versus striking, boxing versus Muay Thai, wrestling versus BJJ, point striking versus brawling. Stick around to see how Justin Gaethje has developed his style into an elite fighting system at the highest of levels.
Justin Gaethje's leg kicks.
Leg kicks have been a huge part of MMA. Whether it's executed in the traditional Muay Thai style or more like savate, fighters have always looked to chop the tree down by attacking the base. When it comes to implementing that fighting philosophy, few better pull it off better than Justin Gaethje. The #1 lightweight contender in the world is a leg-kicking terror, blending a viscous kicking strategy into his already lethal striking game. Justin Gaethje has left his opponents crippled and confused after wondering what missile would hit them next. Shout out to Trevor Wittman, who's had an astounding year as a coach.
Keep your feints and short angles. Oh, Gaethje just stuck.
Though that fans were calling him the Homer Simpson of the division after his back-to-back losses to Eddie Alvarez and Dustin Poirier. Since then, Justin's come a long way in his striking, and the diligence in attacking his opponent's base has been a monumental part of his success. This isn't to say Justin was bad before. 17 fights undefeated with 14 KO TKOs clearly shows just how talented Gaethje was. That said, the technical machine we saw emerge against Tony Ferguson was a whole other fighter compared to the zombie-like wrecking ball that lumped his way to the UFC. His most recent fight against Michael Chandler is a great way to highlight Justin's leg-kicking ability. Completely robbing Chandler of his mobility in the second round, Justin was able to pick off the formidable Chandler in the third after chewing up Chandler's lead leg.
Angles.
Justin's consistent use of this technique and the obvious effectiveness has led to Justin's reputation as a lethal leg kicker, leading to more and more fighters incorporating leg kicks in their style, with Justin being the quintessential leg kicking standard in MMA currently. AKA head coach, who has supervised champions like DC, Khabib, Cain Velasquez, Rockhold, and other stars, has praised Justin's leg kicking ability as the best in all of MMA. The praise keeps coming for Gaethje, with elite lightweight Dustin Poirier calling Gaethje the best leg kicker he's ever faced.
Never seen anything like Justin Gaethje. Whoa.
Proven effectiveness.
At this point in MMA's rich history, we're seeing patterns that make the sport that much clearer in terms of what's reliable. In the last decade, the only thing that could rival the reliability of leg kicks is Dagestani wrestling, but that's another topic for another day. Back to leg kicks, however. In the last year alone, we've had a variety of fights in which leg kicks have been the deciding factor. For example, Khalil Roundtree Jr. scored a historic TKO via sidekick, John Jones style, to the knee of his opponent. Alex Perez stopped Jussier Formiga by devastating his legs. Justin Poirier also famously handed Conor McGregor his first KO loss after crippling the former double champ with hard calf kicks. And back in 2020, Cheeto Vera derailed the Sean O'Malley hype train with calf kicks, causing O'Malley to roll the ankle due to foot drop and injure himself.
Holy smoke, Justin Gaethje has some power.
Dangerous opponents such as fellow low-kick assassin Edson Barbosa, Michael Johnson, Michael Chandler, and the boogeyman of the division, Tony Ferguson. Against the indomitable Ferguson, Justin Gaethje invested in the legs early on. As the fight wore on and Justin kept disrupting Tony's momentum, he was able to keep Ferguson trapped in one stance.
Oh, he's hurt. He's hurt real
He's
bad.
real hurt.
Oh, he's hurt bad. They're going to stop the fight.
That's it.
Eventually falling into the trap of brawling with Justin. A tough night for Ferguson fans only got worse in the fourth round as Justin pinged Ferguson's head around the octagon while El Cucuy could only try and keep his wobbly feet under him. Herb Dean would put an end to the punishment in the fifth, and Ferguson's incredible 12-fight win streak was snapped.
Fun fact.
Did you know Justin's leg kicks can tear your quadriceps? That's exactly what Justin did to Dustin Poirier's leg in their Fight of the Night clash back in 2018.
How it works.
Leg kicks are crucial in striking as they reduce an opponent's ability to move in and out of striking range. Accumulated damage can also wreck an opponent's offense as it can take away their backhand if they're heavy on their lead leg. If you really want to get technical, leg kicks are designed to attack the common peroneal nerve. If that gets damaged, you'll end up with foot drop, which is what O'Malley and McGregor famously had when their legs just wouldn't work properly. One of Justin's greatest traits is that despite a significant windup, his leg kicks require very little reset time, and so he can fire one devastating shot right after another. Keep an eye out for Justin in the clinch or on the break. Unusual places to be able to launch powerful low kicks, but Justin has that knack, and boy, does he use it.
Cerrone takes a knee and he's taking more punishment.
He's hurt bad.
Gaethje has him down.
It's over.
His finishing ability before the UFC, while very impressive, didn't work against the top dogs in the division. Now under one of MMA's greatest minds, Justin has developed a style that not only serves to get the best out of his natural talents, but is quickly becoming a hallmark of modern MMA. Having a fighting style like Justin almost guarantees high-profile fights.
Taking some leg damage, these boys.
Yeah, Gaethje with some... Oh, he got him with a overhand right. It's over.
Take a bow, Trevor Wittman. The result of Wittman's work with Justin can be seen in the patience Justin now shows in the octagon. The implementation of leg kicks almost single-handedly turned Justin Gaethje's reputation from Homer Simpson of the UFC to Justin Gaethje, leg breaker. We have a video on Justin Gaethje's transformation.
I have something to prove to myself every time I step in here, and I will never let myself down.
Next on this video, we'll break down the evolution of this evergreen art.
The beginning.
Low kicks have been part of MMA almost since day one. Using leg kicks in MMA may not be as heavily utilized as it is in Muay Thai, and very few fighters can match leg kicks with Muay Thai monsters like Sanchai or Bukal. All the same, MMA is a different kind of beast. Back in the day, the fighting was a lot more primal, with two men just throwing the kitchen sink at one another as the Just Bleed guys cheered their beer-soaked hearts out. These days, just charging forward like that against a half-decent leg kicker means a trip to the hospital praying your knee ligaments are still attached. Let's break down how leg kicks have gone from a Muay Thai specialist secret weapon to a necessity of MMA striking. It may come as a surprise that the first guy to really starch his opponent's legs was actually a heavyweight. If you've ever heard the quote about a leg kick being like a baseball bat swinging at 100 miles per hour, then you're familiar with Pedro Rizzo's work, as that was coined at UFC 31 when Rizzo, despite coming up short against one of the best to ever do it, still decimated Randy Couture's legs during their championship fight. Rizzo scored the first ever TKO via leg kicks over UFC legend Dan Severn. He would go on to do the same to fellow legend Ken Shamrock, as well as ending his career in his 40s with a TKO via leg kicks. In the following years, guys would begin to incorporate leg kicks into their arsenal more, realizing the impact they had. Perhaps the most decorated leg kicker in the history of the sport, Jose Aldo, became notorious for shredding his opponent's legs as a path to victory. Kenny Florian, Frankie Edgar, and Chad Mendes all felt the brutality of Jose's leg kicks. Yet to this day, Aldo versus Faber back in the WEC may be the most terrifying use of leg kicks in MMA history. Check out that fight, or even just the aftermath, to understand why the popularity of leg kicks soared in this sport. Eventually, guys like Barbosa, who is the only fighter to have 2 leg kick TKOs in his win column, demonstrated the instant fight-ending capability of leg kicks, as well demonstrating the fluidity of the technique. However, it was his showdown with Justin Gaethje that proved that good leg kicks aren't enough. And so we come full circle. To Justin the Highlight Gaethje, the latest ambassador of the low kick technique, years after previous fighters laid the foundation for Gaethje to build his style on. During his short fight with Barboza, Gaethje made it clear he was the superior leg kicker, not because he could execute the technique better, but rather because he had internalized leg kicking as a philosophy better than Barboza. He knew when to kick, when not to kick, how to keep Barboza on the back foot, and recognizing when he was in range of Barboza's own devastating kicks. In a nutshell, Gaethje understood leg kicking better than Barboza and used that to his advantage, which led to one of the greatest knockouts of the year. It's fair to say that there's a seamless connection between Justin Gaethje's style and leg kicks as a technique. More so than any other fighter, it really is a symbiotic relationship between the fighter, his style, and a technique. I guess I'm essentially saying that Justin Gaethje's style is like Eddie Brock and his leg kicks are like Venom, from the Marvel movies. We can see from this brief timeline the success that low kicks have brought to the innovative fighters that chose to use them, to the point where Justin Gaethje is currently carrying the flag and receiving the praise that goes with it. After all, he was the only man to visibly sting the juggernaut that is Khabib Nurmagomedov.
Justin Gaethje stops Tony Ferguson in round 5. He's the UFC's...
And he did that using leg kicks. Khabib would also add that out of all of his opponents, Justin hurt him the most. All in all, Justin Gaethje is synonymous with sore legs, and the sky's the limit for where this fighter and technique will go next. What we can say for certain, however, is that leg kicks have clearly become a vital part of MMA after being largely ignored. From the birth of the sport to the modern day, it has proved itself a vital part of every fighter's understanding. From the octagon to the mats at your local gym, the appreciation for leg kicks and therefore Justin Gaethje is unanimous. And that wraps up our video for today. We hope you had a good time. If you've made it all the way to the end, thank you. We know who the hardcore fans are. If you haven't already, click that subscribe button and like this video to stay up to date with our latest content tailored for you guys. Are there any fighters who you think deserve their own feature? You better let us know about it. Until next time.